I was working on a video before this one talking about anybody can play games regardless of who you are or where you come from. And in that video, I wanted to showcase how you could go from playing Flash and mobile games to one day owning a handheld, specifically the Steam Deck. As some of you may know, on the 28th of May 2026, Valve decided to increase the price of the Steam Deck, and by over $200 to $300 depending on the model. So I decided to scrap that entire video, because frankly, I don't know how you're supposed to get into modern day gaming, especially when Valve don't even make the LCD version anymore. These are some pretty dark times for gaming. If you own something to play games on, consider yourself lucky and take really good care of it, because your next upgrade might be 30 to 60% more expensive, maybe even more. This year alone, we've seen price hikes all across the industry. The big three consoles have already gone up. PC hardware, well, you already know what's happening there. Games and subscriptions are slowly starting to increase in price, although Xbox's Game Pass has actually gone down. And you can thank her for that. She's actually trying to put Xbox back on the map. You might be wondering what on earth happened to cause such a big outburst all over the industry. And if it isn't obvious already, it's because of AI. Artificial incompetence. I don't know all the details, but I believe this guy went to SK Hynix and Samsung. Promised to buy like, what, I don't know, 900,000 RAM waffles, whatever. Which at the time was like a 40% of the global market. That caused a major outbreak for consumers, spiking the cost of RAM to 400%. It wasn't just RAM. SSDs and some GPUs followed too. I thought when Google had its breakthrough with its turbo-quant algorithm, it would help reduce the RAM shortage, because allegedly this algorithm is supposed to be 6 times more efficient and 8 times faster. It did initially, but it's not enough. We're still far away from what RAM used to cost. Which brings me to the title of this video. Because these components have become so scarce, consoles, handhelds, and maybe even mobile phones will become more and more expensive. If this price hiking trend continues, we may never see an affordable console or good piece of hardware ever again. Consoles are supposed to be an accessible way to play games, but if the prices keep going up, are they still accessible? Or should you consider them a luxury at that point? According to Steam's hardware stats, the most commonly used GPU is the RTX 3060. It's a decent GPU, but it struggles to pump out 60 FPS in most modern day games. Trust me, I know, I still have one. And since the market is so cooked, none of us are really looking to upgrade, meaning the 3060 might remain the most commonly used GPU for a while. Companies need to sell games, but if the majority can't play those games, what's the point? Those who don't optimize their games lose out on sales, even if there's a lot of passion put into them. Resident Evil 9 is a good example of this. The game is hella optimized, but it gets shipped with de novo on release, and it has a slight tank on performance. These days, a 10 FPS difference is a big deal. Let's not forget about the geopolitical tensions going on right now as well. Not as many people have the disposable income to buy games in the first place, especially on release. And when distribution becomes a problem...
So, from our point of view, what we saw more and more is that piracy is the result of bad service on the part of game companies.
Yeah. So if the majority can't buy games and they can't run games, who do you think gets the spotlight? Think about it. How do you play games without sacrificing a kidney? Who ends up winning from this rampocalypse? What is left for the consumer? The answer isn't subscriptions, it's not the used market, it's not even piracy. Not yet at least. It's not cloud gaming, despite what Bezos is saying. In my honest opinion, the answer is indie moving forward. And it already has been for a while now. Last year alone, we had a juggernaut of indie titles come out, and they outshone everyone. This year, there's an even bigger opportunity for them to dominate the market. We've already seen some games have their moment. Although Capcom have been going strong, I can respect that. But what about 2 years from now? What about 5 years? What about a decade from now? If these prices don't go down, it will incline more and more people to spend less on video games. But most indie games are cheap, can run on almost all hardware, and have way more passion than anything coming out of a yearly release slop. I say the phrase becoming a luxury because it's not in full swing just yet. I really hope this AI bubble pops and things can go back to how they were. Believe it or not, we used to live in a time where Sony were actually reducing the price of the PS5. But now, a Steam Deck costs more than a PS5. Just let that sink in. All we can do now is just watch and wait because nobody, and I mean nobody, can really predict what happens next. Until then, don't you dare go hollow.